beneath the veneer of skepticism, reality bears witness to chilling truths. In the haunting corridors of history, where shadows dance with undeniable evidence, remember this, the stories are true. Prepare for a revelation. Where the supernatural is stripped of fiction, and the unknown is laid bare, are you ready to confront the undeniable? The stories are true, and the echoes of reality await.
Alright, so picture this. Nestled in the quaint little parish of Falkirk, just a stone's throw away from Barnsley, stands the majestic Hodroyd Hall. Now, this place isn't your run-of-the-mill country house. It's got history, charm, and a whole lot of spooky vibes. So, Hodroyd Hall has been around since, like, forever. Seriously, it's been referenced as far back as 1144. That's older than your grandma's secret recipe for scones. And get this, it's not just any old house. It's a Grade 2 listed beauty, split into 3 private dwellings. But here's the kicker, it's also known as one of the most haunted spots in all of Yorkshire. Now, if you're brave enough to wander its halls, you might just come face to face with some of its infamous residents. We're talking about ghosts, my friend. Yep, you heard me right. Visitors have reported seeing all sorts of spooks, from a faceless man to a hunched-over monk, and even dark shadows creeping around like they own the place. But wait, it gets even crazier. There's this tale about a poor kitchen maid who met a rather gruesome end. Legend has it she was murdered and then chucked into one of the old fireplaces where she met her fiery demise. Talk about a BBQ gone wrong. And if that's not enough to send shivers down your spine, how about sightings of a nun, a monk, and even a dude named Dr. Bell casually hanging out on the staircase? It's like a who's who of the afterlife up in here. So if you're ever in the mood for a bit of a scare or just fancy a trip back in time, why not pay a visit to Hodroyd Hall? Just make sure to bring your courage and maybe a spare pair of undies just in case things get too brainsick.
Hold tight for the next one.
Alright, so picture this. Sowden House in Los Angeles, California. It's this fancy schmancy Mayan revival home designed by Frank Lloyd Wright Jr., who was probably tickle-brained with ideas when he built this tower of architectural wonder at the bottom of the Los Feliz foothills. And get this, the house's facade looks like it was inspired by the opening of a cave or an ancient tomb. Talk about setting the scene for some spooky vibes. Back in the day, this place was party central for Hollywood's cool kids. But then, in swoops Dr. Carr, George Hodel in 1945, turning the joint into a potential crime scene straight out of a noir flick. Yeah, we're talking about the Black Dahlia case, one of America's most notorious cold cases. Rumor has it, all George might have had something to do with it. Imagine throwing a party and ending up on the suspect list for a Hollywood murder mystery. And the drama doesn't stop there. This house has seen more ups and downs than a roller coaster. It's been abandoned, haunted, and even had its fair share of ghostly sightings. I mean, who wouldn't be spooked if they saw a spirit in their basement? Now, let's talk about the architecture. This place is like stepping into a movie set of an ancient Mayan city, designed by someone who probably binge-watched Indiana Jones one too many times. Inside, it's all twisty passages, secret rooms, and a stage fit for some serious drama. And let's not forget about Dr. Cus Hodel's colorful decorating choices, an all-red kitchen, and an all-gold master bedroom. Talk about living life in Technicolor. So, next time you're in LA, keep an eye out for the Sowden House. Who knows, maybe you'll catch a glimpse of a Hollywood ghost or stumble upon a hidden room filled with secrets. Just remember, tickle-brained architects and scandalous parties await.
Hold tight for the next one.
All right. Buckle up, because I've got a tale that'll tickle your funny bone and maybe make you want to sleep with the lights on. So, picture this. We're in York, a city already steeped in history, and we stumble upon the Golden Fleece Inn. Now, this place isn't just any old pub, it's like a ghostly convention centre. Legend has it that this joint is so haunted, even the ghosts have a waiting list to get in. There's Lady Alice Peckett, former owner and possibly the OG ghost of the joint, who apparently still likes to rearrange furniture in the wee hours. And then there's a Canadian airman who fell folly-fallen from a window during World War II. Poor poor guy. Guess he couldn't handle the high life. But wait, there's more. Meet One-Eyed Jack, rocking a 16th century red coat like he's stuck in a time warp, waving around a pistol like it's a party favour. Plus, we've got a grumpy old man who probably just needs a good night's sleep, and a Victorian kid who got trampled by horses. Talk about a bad day at the races. Oh, and don't forget the Roman soldiers chilling in the cellar, because apparently even in the afterlife they're on guard duty. And get this, the Golden Fleece was even on the Most Haunted TV show in 2005. Talk about a celebrity haunt. But hold your horses, there's more to this tale. The Golden Fleece has been around since the 16th century, back when people wore tights and thought leeches were medicinal. It's seen more action than a Netflix binge-watch session. Even Dick Turpin, the infamous highwayman, crashed here before his final ride to the big house. And despite all the changes in the world outside, this place stands firm, like a rock in a stormy sea. It's a pub with a past, present, and probably a ghostly future. So, if you're ever in York and looking for a pint with a side of spooks, the Golden Fleece is the place to be. Just don't be surprised if your drinking buddy has been dead for centuries. Cheers.
Hold tight for the next one.
Cheers to that, my friend.
All right, buckle up because we're diving into a wild ride. Picture this. Latoya Ammons and her fam moved into this cozy little crib in Gary, Indiana. Everything seemed chill until they found themselves knee-deep in what they swear was a demon-filled horror show. We're talking footsteps in the dead of night, weird shadow dudes, and even the kids doing their best Spider-Man impressions on the ceiling. Now, when your kids start pulling off stunts that belong in a superhero flick, you know it's time to call in the big guns. But here's where things get wacky. Half the town thought they were battling actual demons, while the other half were all like, nah, it's just in your head, guys. But wait, it gets better. This tale blew up faster than a viral cat video. Ghost adventure dude Zach Baggins even swooped in, bought the joint, and tore it down, all in the name of paranormal exploration. And if that wasn't enough, Hollywood got in on the action too. Oscar nominee Lee Daniels is cooking up a flick based on this supernatural saga, starring none other than our fave Stranger Things kid, Caleb McLaughlin. Now on to part 2 of our spooky saga, Latoya herself. She moved into what can only be described as Satan's summer home. Black flies, shadowy figures, and kids talking like they just auditioned for The Exorcist. It was a real nightmare on Carolina Street. Things got so intense that they called in the cavalry priests, doctors, even the Ghostbusters probably got a call. Turns out the house wasn't just haunted, it was hosting a full-blown demon party. The kids were doing acrobatics that would make Cirque du Soleil jealous, and the adults were feeling like they were possessed by Monday morning blues. But fear not, dear friends, for Latoya and her squad weren't about to let some pesky demons ruin their Netflix and chill time. With a little help from some holy water and maybe a dash of Hollywood magic, they sent those demons packing and lived to tell the tale. So, next time you think your house is haunted, just remember Latoya Ammons and her gang. They've been there, done that, and got the t-shirt, probably one with a demon emoji on it.
Thanks for joining.
Hold tight for the next one.
All right, buckle up for some spooky tales from Ripon Workhouse. So imagine this. You stroll into the Ripon Workhouse Museum and boom! You're hit with a vibe that screams hopelessness and hardship, like it's going out of style. It's like stepping into a time machine straight to the 1700s, where the poor and destitute had it rougher than a tatterdemalion cat in a rainstorm. Legend has it that folks entering this joint had better pack a coffin in their suitcase, because chances are they ain't coming out any other way. Seriously, the death and disease rates were so high, they had to order coffins in bulk just to keep up with demand. Talk about a grim welcome. Now, meet Gordon, the OG ghost of Ripon Workhouse. Dude's been haunting the place for ages, making cameo appearances to unsuspecting tourists, and even sliding into a few Ouija board conversations for a spooky chat. Imagine trying to enjoy your museum tour and suddenly, boom, Gordon's there, giving you the old ghostly greeting. Classic Gordon. But wait, there's more. This place isn't just a museum, it's a full-blown paranormal playground. Picture this: dark corridors, creepy sleeping quarters, and a mortuary straight out of your worst nightmares. It's like a haunted house, but without the fun part. And don't think daylight saves you from the spook fest. Nope. Even when the sun's up, visitors swear they feel like they're being watched by invisible eyes. The female block gives people serious goosebumps, like the kind you get when you watch a horror movie alone at midnight. Plus the children's schoolroom? Yeah, that's where the ghostly kiddos like to hang out, playing hide and seek with the living. Classic ghost shenanigans. So if you're up for a dose of history mixed with a pinch of paranormal, Ripon Workhouse is the place to be. Just make sure to bring your bravest face and maybe a spare pair of undies, 'cause things are about to get spooky up in here.
Hold tight for the next one.
All right, so picture this. You're cruising down the streets of Boise, Idaho, minding your own business, when suddenly you spot this house at 805 West Linden Street. And let me tell you, it's a sight to behold. Covered in soot, windows busted, and trash strewn all over the yard, this place looks like it's straight out of a horror movie set. But hold on to your hats, folks, because the real story behind this spooky house is even scarier. Now, locals have given this place some interesting nicknames. Some call it the Boise Murder House, which is pretty straightforward, right? But others, well, they've got a darker sense of humor. They call it the Chop Chop House. Yeah, you heard me right. Apparently that's a nod to the gruesome murder that went down there over 30 years ago. So, here's the lowdown. Back in '87, two guys named Daniel and Darren decided to turn this place into a real-life horror show. They shot and killed poor Preston Murr in the basement, then went all lumberjack on him, chopping him up into pieces. Can you imagine? They even hauled his body parts to the Idaho-Oregon border like it's some kind of twisted road trip. But here's the kicker. Murr almost made a run for it. He actually managed to escape from the house and ran to a neighbor's place, pounding on the door and screaming for help. But get this, the neighbor didn't answer. Can you believe it? Instead, they just called the cops, probably thinking it was some rowdy late-night party. Now, the creepiness doesn't end there. Oh no, my friend. Folks say this house has some seriously spooky vibes, especially in the basement. People talk about shadowy figures creeping around, weird liquids dripping down the walls. Real horror movie stuff, I'm telling you. But wait, there's more. One guy, let's call him Dan the Brave, swears he saw this freaky black oily blob hovering in one of the upstairs windows. It even showed up in a mirror on the porch. I'm getting chills just thinking about it. Despite all the bone-chilling stories, the landlord insists there's no haunting going on. But with a rep like that, who needs ghosts? This house has a reputation so bad it could scare the ghosts away. Crazy, right?
Hold tight for the next one.
All right, buckle up, because I've got a tale that'll make your hair stand on end faster than a porcupine in a balloon factory. So picture this. East Riddlesden Hall, a 17th century manor perched above the River Aire, right smack in the middle of Yorkshire's paranormal hot zone. We're talking a place with more ghosts than a Lemur's convention. Now, the history here is as rich as a chocolate fountain at a billionaire's birthday bash. Built in 1642 by some big-shot clothier named James Murgatroyd, this place has seen more drama than a daytime soap opera. There's talk of a blue lady who took an unexpected dive into the pond and never quite left. And a grey lady who got herself bricked up for some marital mishap. I tell you, love triangles and ghostly squabbles, it's like Shakespeare meets Scooby-Doo. But wait, it gets spookier. Ghost hunter extraordinaire Mark Vernon claims he's captured one of these spectral critters on film. He waltzes into East Riddlesden Hall and boom, ghostly shenanigans galore. The ghost decides to make Mr. Vernon its new BFF, following him around like a lost puppy. Now that's what I call a ghost with commitment issues. And don't think the scares stop there. The place is like a haunted house on steroids, with more paranormal activity than a poltergeist pool party. National Trust ownership? Ha! Like that's gonna scare off the resident spooks. Folks working there have more ghost stories than a Lemura's storytelling circle. Kids wandering around mistaking ghosts for tour guides. Classic mix-up, right? But here's the kicker. A staffer spots a kid in old-timey clothes wandering the halls, thinking he's part of some historical reenactment. Turns out the only thing historic about him is his ghostly status. Talk about a ghostly prank that'll make your hair stand up faster than a porcupine in a balloon factory. So, if you're ever in Yorkshire and fancy a good scare, East Riddlesden Hall is the place to be. Just don't blame me if you start seeing more ghosts than a haunted house realtor on overtime.
Hold tight for the next one.
All right, buckle up, because this story is wild. So, back in 1886, there's this millionaire heiress named Sarah Winchester. She's not your average widow, she's like the queen of eccentricity. Her family's loaded from the famous gun that won the West, but turns out that gun's got some controversy attached to it. Anyway, she decides to ditch Connecticut and start fresh in California's Santa Clara Valley after some serious family drama. Now, this lady is a boss. In an era where women were usually stuck following gender norms, she's out here managing her own finances and diving headfirst into her passion for architecture and design. She starts building this massive mansion in San Jose, which she names Lanata Villa, translation, house on flat land. But guess what? We know it today as the Winchester Mystery House. The house is like a cacophony of architectural chaos. Doors opening to nowhere, staircases leading straight into ceilings, and hallways that could double as a labyrinth. People start speculating like crazy. Is she trying to evict ghosts with her funky floor plan? Some say yes, but defenders swear she's not superstitious. Fast forward to 1924, Harry Houdini, the magician extraordinaire, swings by. He's on a mission to expose fake spiritualists, but even he can't shake the creepy vibes from this place. So he dubs it the Winchester Mystery House, and the name sticks. It becomes a Bay Area legend. Now, get this, over 12 million brave souls have visited since Sarah Winchester kicked the bucket in 1922. It's like a historical preserve meets a spooky theme park. And guess what? Helen Mirren stars in a horror movie about it called Winchester. The film spills the tea that Sarah wasn't just some crazy lady building a quirky house. There's a whole rifle fortune haunting her. The locals practically have this story on speed dial. An eccentric widow drowning in gun empire drama decides the only way to escape vengeful spirits is to build a bonkers mansion. And if construction stops, she thinks she's a goner. The result? The Winchester Mystery House, a monument to absolute madness. So there you have it, the tale of an heiress, a gun empire, and a mansion that's forever haunted by some seriously shady blood money. It's like a real-life horror story, but with a touch of comedy and a sprinkle of historical spookiness.
Hold tight for the next one.
All right, buckle up for a wild ride through the halls of Temple Newsam in Leeds. It's like a ghostly soap opera up in there. So first off, we've got Lord Darnley, who's basically like the OG of Temple Newsam. He's the dude who married Mary, Queen of Scots, and kicked off the whole drama. Then we've got the Ingrams, who owned the place for ages until the Leeds County Council swooped in like, yoink, it's ours now. But here's where it gets juicy. Remember Mary Ingram? Poor gal got tangled up with some highwaymen on a tardy gated night. They jacked her pearls, and she was never the same after that. Legend has it, her ghost still haunts the joint, forever on the hunt for her precious bling. Visitors hear her cries and feel chills in the air, spooky stuff. Now fast forward to the legend of the Blue Lady. This tale's so famous it's practically the stuff of Leeds folklore. Kids at school have spun it into urban legend gold. There's even a creepy rhyme about her, like something out of a horror movie. Blue lady, you killed your blue baby. But hold on to your hats, because here's the twist. The Blue Lady might just be Mary Ingram herself. See, her granddad, Arthur Ingram, was loaded and gifted her these insanely expensive pearls. But one fateful night, she gets robbed by those highwaymen, and her world comes crashing down. She tears the house apart looking for her pearls, but they're gone. And so is she, tragically starving herself to death at just 14. Now, whether it's Mary or the Blue Lady, something's definitely going bump in the night at Temple Newsam. Doors slam, Furniture rattles and voices echo through the halls, all searching for those darn pearls. Looking back on it now, maybe poor Mary was dealing with some serious PTSD from that traumatic event. But hey, in the end, we might never know the whole truth. All we can do is grab some popcorn, enjoy the ghostly show, and maybe keep an eye out for any tardy-gated highwaymen lurking in the shadows.
Hold tight for the next one.
All right, grab some popcorn and dim the lights because we're diving deeper into the twisted tale of the Amityville Horror House. Picture this. It's November 13th, 1974, a seemingly ordinary day in Amityville, New York. The DeFeo family, blissfully unaware of the nightmare that awaits them, is going about their business in their cozy Dutch colonial home. But little do they know, their fate is sealed within those walls. That night, tragedy strikes with a ferocity that sends shivers down the spine of the entire neighborhood. Louise and Ronald DeFeo Sr., along with 4 of their children, meet a grisly end at the hands of an unknown assailant. Only Ronald DeFeo Jr. survives, his innocence drowned in a sea of suspicion and accusations. Fast forward a year, and the once peaceful home on Ocean Avenue becomes a magnet for the curious and the brave. The Lutz family, eager to start anew, moves in, unaware of the horrors that lurk beneath the surface. Little did they know they were about to embark on a journey into darkness that would shake them to their core. From the moment they set foot in the house, the Lutz family's reality transforms into a living nightmare. Strange noises echo through the halls, chilling drafts send shivers down their spines, and a pervasive sense of dread hangs in the air like a thick fog. The original furniture and decor, remnants of the DeFeo family's tragic past, seem to hold secrets of their own, whispering tales of horror to anyone who dares to listen. As days turn into nights, the Lutz family's grip on reality begins to slip. Sleepless nights plagued by terrifying visions, unexplained phenomena that defy all logic, and a feeling of being watched by unseen eyes become their new normal. And then, just when they think it can't get any worse, they uncover the dark history of their home, a history tainted by bloodshed and malevolent forces beyond their comprehension. In a desperate bid to escape the clutches of evil, the Lutz family flees the house, leaving behind their belongings and their shattered illusions of safety. But the horrors they witnessed would haunt them long after they left Amityville behind. Their story, immortalized in Jay Anson's best-selling book and subsequent blockbuster movie, The Amityville Horror, captivated audiences around the world. But amidst the fame and the controversy, one question remains unanswered. Was it all a hoax? Or did the forces of darkness truly absquatulate within those cursed walls?
Joining us on this eerie adventure. If you enjoyed the chills, don't forget to subscribe. More mysteries await. Until next time, thanks for watching and stay curious.